What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial showing you the Dark Magic palette from the Vault collection by JACLYN Hill and MORPHE. Alright, so we are in the final video of this series with Dark Magic. This palette, I love this palette so much. I was so interested in this one and Bling Boss. These were the two that really caught my eye. And if you guys are curious, I do have videos on all three of the other palettes up. They will all be linked down below, and they will be linked up above throughout the duration of this video. And I also have a full-on review, first impressions of this collection. I swatch every single eyeshadow on my eye because what's important is how these shadows perform and how they look. Finger swatches don't really matter that much, alright? Gotta stop making a big deal about the finger swatches. Anyways, today I'm going to show you how to get this look using this palette. And let's go ahead and run right into that, but don't forget to subscribe before we get started. First, I'm picking up Potion, which is this beautiful mossy green, and I'm using my Morphe M433 brush. Of course, this is more of a fluffier blending brush, so it can pack the shadow on, but it's going to be really easy to diffuse and blend the shadow out. So because this is, again, going to be a cut crease tutorial, I'm bringing this from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner, and again, because we are cutting the crease, it's totally fine, you know, to be a little sloppy with it and get the shadow on the lid space. And I'm just going to blend this up and out, so I'm holding my brush at that upward angle. And then I'm also going to use a mixture of smaller circular motions and windshield wiper motions to blend the shadow out. This is the first shadow that I'm using where I'm seeing that it's like a little bit patchy and uneven, but it's nothing that picking up a hint more of shadow can fix. And then, of course, after each step, I do like to take a huge fluffy brush that doesn't have any shadow on it and just sort of blend and diffuse the edges even further. And to further diffuse that edge, I'm going to go into Poof and blend this on the outer edge of where that color stopped and pretty much blend it up into my brow bone. And I'm just going to take that same brush and I'm just going to go right here, right along the edge. This Poof color, sorry, I don't know what is rattling outside, if you can even hear that, but this Poof color is great because if you accidentally blend something up too high or too dark too high, you can take a color like this, like any matte cream or matte beige, and you can just use it to kind of erase. So there's like the subtlest of difference, but this eye, it looks smoother and it looks like there's a nicer blend up to my brow bone. Now to add a little bit more depth to the crease, I'm going to take this shade, it is like the lightest like matte brown color in this palette, but it's still pretty deep. And it's also a really nice cool tone color. I did get to use this shadow before when I was doing my Let's Play with Makeup video a few videos back. So I switched over to my Real Techniques 203 brush, and then as you guys can hear, I always forget to say it because it's like so like robotic at this point because I'm so used to doing it. Once you pick up shadow, you always want to tap off the extra so you don't get a mess on your lid. And with these darker shadows, especially with any shadow, but especially with darker shadows, you want to take a little at a time and slowly build your way up. That is the key to getting a really flawless blend using the darker shadows. So here you can just see how this is like adding that little more of a depth to the look without really erasing much of that mossy green. Then I'm also going to start building this color on the outer half of my lid. This color is pretty buildable, so you can just, you know, make it as dark as your little heart desires. To deepen the crease up a little bit more, I'm going to take this navy shade right here, Busted, and I'm taking a more precise fluffy brush. This is just a Sephora fluffy brush, so you can kind of see the difference between the three brushes. The Sephora one is a little bit more tapered on the end, so I'll be able to deposit the color a little bit more precisely. So even further with these darker colors, it's almost easier to kind of tap and stamp them on than trying to go in and blend them right away. I like to go and lay the color down and then focus on blending. Advice when doing a cut crease is that you want to bring the darker colors in, or like your outer corner colors, further in than what you think, because you're going to have to blend them anyways and the concealer will cover it up, so I'd rather bring them in too far than not far enough. Now to blend that, I'm going to go back into Potion, our mossy green color, and I'm going to go back in with the brush we used it on, which was the Morphe M433, and I'm just going to very light pressure, like barely touching my brush to my skin, start to slowly blend, and I just picked up the slightest hint of color and tapped it off. So that's just helping blend it and then also bringing back the hint of green. So this tutorial is a little bit longer than my other Vault series tutorials because with a dark smoky eye, they can be really difficult and tricky. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I went more in depth into the tutorial to really walk you through it. And if you guys have anything that I could be more clear on while doing tutorials, just let me know, because the whole point of me being here is to make makeup easy and achievable as I can for you if you are a beginner or if you're not sure how to do a certain technique. So I would appreciate your constructive, helpful, useful criticism. Alrighty, so I am going to start to pack on these darker colors a little bit more to my outer corner. So I'm going to go back into Busted. You know what? Actually, do I want to take Inside Job? I'm just going to go into Busted for now before I get ahead of myself on my Sonia Kashuk 110 brush. This is nice and flat. It's really great for packing shadows on. Tap off the extra even with this and then just start to stamp it on there. You can just see the difference on how the color is just more bam. Now what I'm going to do before I move on to cutting the crease, I'm just going to blend this edge. And taking a Sephora concealer brush, I'm going to cut my crease with my Tarte Shape Tape. So for the cut crease, I just went slightly above where my lid space ends, and then I'm just blending that out. And you can always set this with a powder if you wanted to before you put your shade down, but because a concealer is tacky, I'm just going to go right in with Power Cut, which is this pewter silver color. So I'm applying this with my finger, and then the areas I can't get, I'm just going to go back in with the Sonia Kashuk brush and use a clean side. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back in with this brush with no new product and just blend the silver into the blue. And then to darken this inner corner up a little bit more, I'm going to take this Morphe Y22 brush. It's like a pencil brush. I think it'll be perfect for really getting in close to the cut crease. And I'm going to go in with this like forest green Inside Job. So that just added a hint of depth to the cut crease. Very subtle, but also noticeable. So one last time, I'm going to go into Potion just to do one last sort of light blend over. And I'm not picking up a lot of product here, and I'm really tapping the extra off. And I'm just going to, again, lightly with light pressure, just skim over the edge of everything. And then now we can move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to start off with Busted because I like to go darkest to lightest. So I'm taking a flat brush. So this is a Morphe M432. And then again, I want to tap off the extra. And then I'm just going to stamp and wiggle as close to my lash line as possible. And I personally like to go almost all the way in, but not quite, because I do like to keep my eyes looking a little bit more open and larger. If I wanted my eyes to look smaller, I could close it off by taking that color all the way in. And now to blend it out, I'm just going to go in with Potion with the Morphe E36. This is like a miniature fluffy brush, perfect for the lower lash line. If I wasn't doing a tutorial like solely focusing on this palette, I would probably reach in and get like a mustardy yellow color to blend out the lower lash line too, because I think that that would look really pretty. And I do like to blend this pretty far down and connect it to my crease, but how far down you're comfortable blending your eyeshadow is up to you, and how smoky you make it is up to you. And then now for our final step, I'm just going to take the smallest amount of the same potion color on this and just do a light blend. Here we are. I have very minimal fallout on my face. I think I got most of it when I was working on the lower lash line for this Train Interrupts Me. When working with darker shadows, it's typically better to do your eyes first and then your base in case you do get fallout, but I really wanted to put this palette to the test to see what we would get. And here is what the palette looks like after use. So again, not a crazy amount of fallout. Darker colors are typically harder to work with, but from what I experienced, how many shadows do we use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We used a little bit more than half the shadows in this palette, and I still thought that they were really easy to work with, really easy to blend. So that seemed pretty consistent throughout the collection with my experience. I'm gonna pop on some mascara and BRB. So for my lips, I'm not gonna put too much effort in because I'm about to go to a fair and eat a lot of food. So I'm just gonna go in with this Nude Sticks pencil in Whisper. This is like a really great pinky peachy nude if you are on the fair side. And I'm just going to rub the edges of that a lot, if you will. And then to top it off, I'm just gonna go over with Over the Top Gloss by Dose of Colors. My favorite lip gloss ever, and I've been trying not to use it lately because I'm starting to run low. This stuff is just so good. Okay, so that is going to wrap it up for the look. So with this palette, again, the formulation I thought was great. I didn't really have an issue. I didn't have any issues with the shadows, you know, not showing up, not blending out, all the other stuff people were complaining about. That wasn't the case for me. So if you guys are interested in picking up the Vault collection or have been thinking about it, don't forget to check out my other tutorials using the other 3 palettes if you're looking at a specific one, or if you wanted the collection as a whole. I can say that I recommend any of these palettes from this collection. I thought that they were really, really great. Yeah, so that is going to wrap it up for this look. I know that it would look great with falsies, but I really want to show you guys that these kind of smoky eyes can look great if you don't want to wear falsies. I know a majority of people out there don't typically wear them, and if I was going to a special event, sure, I would pop them on, but I'm just going to be, you know, living my life at the fair. So I didn't want to be too over the top. But anyways, I just really wanted to showcase that this look can look great with just your natural lashes and without liner. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my other videos in the series. Subscribe so you don't miss out on my future content. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. Let me know in the comments below what your thought on this palette was, what your thoughts on everything with Morphe JACLYN Hill is. I would love to hear from you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.